there's a question about how do I deal with negative mind attacks. And I think what this means is, destructive or negative thoughts that I have about myself or others that continue to go on and on and on, and seemingly without end. And how do I deal with that?
Right. So, examples of that. One of the things that we've noticed in this work, and you've probably noticed it as well, is that although there's a huge variety of personalities and stories and reasons why people do what they do, when it comes down to the beliefs, what the Course would call our ego's suspicions of ourselves, there actually aren't that many.
We can list them off if you like.
Well, I thought that might be a good idea if we did that, because people might recognize them.
Yeah, I'm not good enough is one.
Oh, that's the one I was going to choose.
Oh.
There's not enough for me.
I'm not lovable.
I'm not, I'm not worthy.
I'm bad, just bad.
I'm a waste of time. These are examples, but if we invited you to really list your favorites, I doubt that you could come up with more than 10. I'm really, honestly, if we did some kind of survey research project.
I think we should do a survey research project.
How many ways, how many different things do we say to ourselves? And it's not that many. We might find lots of examples that provide evidence to prove these beliefs. It still doesn't change the fact that there aren't very many of them, actually, and they're fundamentally flawed.
And, I used to think that all of them boiled down to the one statement that says, therefore I'm alone.
Hmm.
And, being alone in the world, or being, there I am, rejected again, or I don't belong. These are all, I think, manifestations and examples of that same statement of, and I'm alone.
Mm.
And I think I'm alone goes with, and the universe is threatening.
Okay. I think for me, where this goes quite often is, give me a moment to think, get my thought back here. If I'm telling myself I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, this type of thing, it's definitely painful, but it's also safe, because it's like it stops us then, and it's like, yeah, what's the point? What's the point of going on? What's the point of trying to change anything? Things are never going to be different, and it becomes that kind of spiral, when actually the only thing that's happening here is that we're afraid of something. And we don't have the compassion for ourselves to be able to say, whoa, wait a minute. When that thought springs up, it means if the Course is saying there's only two things happening, either an extension of love or a call for love, then what is my call for love here? What am I actually afraid of? And how can I answer that call for love for myself? Sometimes I can do it myself by just getting in touch with that belief again. Oh, okay, I'm using this to prove my belief that I'm not good enough and I've been mistaken. And sometimes it requires us talking to someone else and saying, hey, this is where I am right now. Can you help me?
I think to answer the question directly, how do I deal with my negative thoughts about myself or others? When we have these negative thoughts about ourselves and others, what we've forgotten is what we are. What we've forgotten is that we're in connection with all that there is. And all that there is love. And so we've forgotten that we're in connection with the love that we are. And sometimes we're so deeply into it that it's very difficult to reach out and ask for help. And yet that's the remedy. That is the only remedy that I know that works 100% of the time, is share what you're feeling, what you're thinking with someone else, and try to choose someone that's not going to agree with your negative thoughts.
That's very helpful.
Yeah, I thought so.